watched as complacency replaced discipline. We sat on the sidelines as clickbait replaced our history. And we kept silent as our skill sets and careers became automated, antiquated, routine, and forgotten. This is unacceptable. We're here to guide you towards putting down your number and reclaiming your given name. We're here to guide you towards your vision of freedom. The world has changed, and there's no more room for willful ignorance. So to those happy with being stuck, with being complacent, this podcast's not for you. But to those looking for more, follow us as we reclaim it all. For our children, for our grandchildren, and for future generations to come.
From somewhere deep undercover in the Pacific Northwest, this is the American Reveille Podcast, and here is your host, James Lane.
So, I feel like if I was allowed, legally, to use whatever music and sound effects I wanted, I would have the dopest fucking intro and stuff, but then again, I'd probably only think it was awesome. I really have no musical taste or talent whatsoever, and that's why you see all these commercials and different things with music all over the place, so I'd probably fuck it up. So at least Wifles thinks I'd screw it up. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? I'd be trying to probably bring back Limp Bizkit or something, like My Way or the Highway or whatever that song was called, if my music legally was up to me. So I'm kind of glad that I get to use these more independent artists, it seems. So this reminds me of something that happened to me months and months ago. Or I can't believe I'm actually telling this story. My wife and I don't get out too much between work and school, and I heard that Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle were coming to the Tacoma Dome on August 2nd back in 2019. So knowing that Wifles and I both enjoy their stand-up, I pulled out $1,600 and I got 2 front row tickets off Ticketmaster, right? Holy shit. So, and you can confirm this shit with me. The day comes. So my angry Filipino wife, again, if you have no experience with Filipino wives, watch a Joe Coy special. She's a little less angry and a little more beautiful that day. And we catch an Uber and we get to the arena. So the Tacoma Dome is just that. It's a dome, which means it's round. And we enter this round dome. There's concrete everywhere. It smells like weed. This is Washington State. We make our way. Speaking of which, not just that it's Washington State, it's a Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle show. So it was an interesting event, to say the least. So we made our way to section 10, row A, seats 7 and 8, if anybody wants to verify. And don't worry, you'll get, like I said, a few points of proof if you really, really, really need it. So this story actually could be verified if Donnell Rawlings ever hears about it, if he ever remembers it. So let me just set the record straight here. I'm a Navy veteran, and it means that it's absolutely safe to assume that I was wickety White Claw fucking wasted at this show by the time this story happened. Even possibly before I got in the Uber. So, hoo-yah, baby. Anyway, Donnell Rawlings comes on stage, and I'm in and out. I mean, in and out like blink, astroplane, unicorn, spaceships, blink, Donnell Rawlings, blink, Poseidon, blink, Donnell Rawlings, blink, Tacoma Dome in outer space, blink. Anyway, all of a sudden there's a fucking microphone in my face, and Mr. Rawlings has been running around apparently singing the Old Town Road song by Lil Nas X, and now wants me to join him. And there's one problem. I'm so fucking busy. I haven't been following shit, and I have no idea even what the lyrics are. And he doesn't fucking believe me. And I'm fucking telling him, dude, I don't fucking know. And I'm so fucking embarrassed, and I'm confused, and he's confused. And we both have this moment where he's a successful man, I'm a successful man. We're both staring at each other, and there's 30,000 people staring at us, and it's very confusing for both of us. I think maybe that's akin to having your first experience on the other side of the fence. I don't know, and we're not going to go there. But anyway, I feel like I owe him an apology. He kind of blew me off, giving me like that you're a stiff, dumb white guy look. I feel bad. I really do feel bad because I think I made the first part of his set kind of weird back in 2019 when he was up in Tacoma. And I'm sure after years and years in his business and his field of comedy and what he does, this isn't the first time something like that's happened, so he probably doesn't remember. But I want to do this. I want to tell them that after not understanding Uber pricing and delays and having to walk with my 7-month pregnant Filipino wife miles away to catch a cab home, I got bored and studied the song. I listened to it, and then it went on loop in my dumb brain. So now I understand how it makes you feel, and kind of after lengthy deliberations, my wife and I would like our lives to be a movie full of bull riding and boobies with cowboy hats from Gucci, and possibly even Wrangler on our booties, so just not in the summer in Florida. If you ever see this, Donnell, I apologize. Moving on. So, look, guys, let's get into this. I called this episode Americans in the Meantime for a few reasons. One of those reasons, it's a cool title that sounds like it should be on a big boy and girl publication, and two, because it's the perfect description of kind of what a lot of people are doing right now, sitting in a semi-limbo. Even the ones going back to work, kind of wondering what's going to happen, possibly suffering or preparing to possibly suffer. Like I said before, my mom got laid off a few weeks ago, so I really feel you. And hey, I may even get laid off, and I have kids, like many of you. So we'll figure out what happens. So follow me on this. Ever watch Stranger Things on Netflix? The show that's kind of like The Goonies, but updated with psychic powers and monsters and kind of has its own limbo land. So that, yeah. In the show, there's kind of like this bizarro world that can be accessed through a tear or a rift. And so just imagine sitting on your toilet. Now, I want you to imagine a completely identical world where you're still sitting on your toilet, but it's kind of dark and there's kind of monsters and it kind of is really dusty for some reason, and gravity is also weird, which means the things in the toilet might also be weird. So keep that in mind while you're in this bizarro world. Let's flip back to the real world for a second. So a difficult situation, but not so unfamiliar to the current state of affairs for many Americans. There's a ton of us at home with a lot of time on our hands, maybe somewhat less. And I understand kids, school, chores. I get it. Either way, work may be on hold for some of us, and it may feel like time's kind of slowed down in some strange way, and your perception of it may have as well. And that's what I'm saying. This feels like the upside down in many ways. So I have a strange theory, and I'd kind of like to present it to you. And I really want your feedback, either by email or on social media. So imagine for a second, that if something strange is happening, something unprecedented, something that has never happened in our lifetime or our parents' lifetimes, and so on, imagine for a second if it could be possible. Could it be possible that certain barriers to entry, certain roadblocks, even into podcasting, have been temporarily removed or diminished? Is it possible that a window in time exists right now where a certain amount of people are going to have their own American Reveille, their own awakening, finding and achieving their dreams? I think the answer is yes. And this podcast exists to spread that word. Do you see anything for sale? I could make a little PDF thingy. I could make ebooks. I have an MBA. I am in classes for my PhD, and I am capable of writing books and selling them to you. And we've been talking about a lot of stuff that's really good information that helps a lot of people. But guys, I'm sucker free. I'm not going to sell out and put all that stuff in anything at this point and sell you guys some snake oil, some pamphlet. What I'm saying on here is real and it's free, and everybody deserves to have it. Everybody does. So I'm going to tell you the important stuff that I think every American deserves to know so that they can have a fair shake at things when they get out of their upbringing and get into the real world. So I'm not dumb, guys. Maybe one day, you got to understand, one day I'll publish some books or I'll do something, but that's going to be down the road. This stuff that I'm teaching you, these are the basics that I built everything that I've grown on and succeeded upon. So this stuff should be free, like I said, for anybody. So I'm not going to dupe you into giving me your email so I can sell you bullshit. I'd love you guys to give me your email so that we could keep in touch and I could maybe eventually put out a newsletter. But for now, I want to talk about strange alchemy. And I think that's something we should talk about because it's not something that is really mentioned, but it's kind of like if dragons were real or if magic was real. There's kind of magic out there in the business world that exists. And take this podcast, for instance. Normally, this concept, this positive idea, even though it's a pretty good idea, it kind of wouldn't matter. People wouldn't pay attention. But maybe because of the strange circumstances we are in, this positive message and the critical content, it's much more relevant. And it allows a person like me who maybe otherwise would just be a funny asshole in my family or to my friends and loved ones that maybe has a little knowledge and education. It allows somebody like me to take the stuff I've learned the hard way and give it to people who need it and want it and value it. And this is something that I'm specially equipped with in a way that I'm specially equipped to deliver. So in exchange, I get to help people. And maybe even one day I get to do the thing that I'm loving for a living, which is write and record and perform and do all this awesome stuff with you guys and interact. So I've written every single episode of this podcast in the last few weeks. And like I said, that's over 200 pages of writing. And that's on top of my schoolwork and my family. And I haven't been sleeping much, as you know, which will improve once I launch this and I'm doing 1 or 2 podcasts a week instead of 10. But at the very least, some people may hear some good things here. We may help some people. We may build community. It may become a great thing for many people. And I really want that. I understand it takes a lot of time. And as I'm sure you've figured out by now, especially knowing the number of times I failed and come back stronger, I'm sure you know I'm capable of waiting for you guys to come around and waiting for our time together. So with that being said, there's strange alchemy at work here. An event happened that forced the creation of something good for people, something that was created by one person quicker than most teams of 4 or 5 or 6 people could. And there's a lot of people home right now not doing much of anything. And a lot of people who work or own companies, they may hear this more than they normally would. And I think that's because time in a way has slowed down or stopped for a second. You know, don't you think there may be an in for you somewhere in some dream you may have, some goal you may have, something that may have been more difficult before, but now that things are kind of in a standstill, you may be able to just sneak in, and when the lights turn on, it just may have seemed like you were there the whole time. I think a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't you think that if you had a dream or a goal, this extra time maybe could be used to try and make moves towards it, or even make moves towards something different or better for your family? We've all had the internet, and we've all had the ability to promote something on social media for years now. We can all read and think about what's happening and what's changing, and we can act upon it, can't we? So I know I'm going to take a lot of shit for being upfront about this, but I mean, look, I've even had to calm my mom down multiple times and remind her that good can come from bad things. So if we use the time productively, instead of squeezing our eyes shut and hoping for everything to blow over, we may actually be able to capture lightning in a bottle here, like I've said before multiple times on this podcast. And I think, and I'm going to say this, but I think there are a few areas where we may need to be looking over the next few months while things go through what they have to go, so they can eventually start to restabilize. And I'm guessing this will take a few months. Some people think maybe up to the rest of the year. I think it may be a little bit sooner, but it definitely will last just a little bit longer. So depending upon certain factors and government decisions, we're still in this small limbo period. So again, this gives us a window, and in this window, a lot of bad and a lot of good's going to happen. And this is a spectrum we've never seen, and we're not used to it, but you will keep hearing me talk about it. You're going to hear me talk about it again and again, because it has to be. I keep saying people that you never thought would lead and will lead, and people who you respected or who were in charge. Some of them, they're going to show you their real character, and some of those folks might not have the greatest of characters. And even some poor to middle class folks in that range, some will find that lightning in a bottle. They'll bottle it, and they'll turn this situation into magic for themselves and the people they care about, and hopefully more than that when they share it with others. Look, people are succumbing to this virus, and it's horrific. But if you dwell on horror, your whole life literally becomes horror. So you definitely have to keep busy, and you definitely have to keep positive. So most of the people giving you advice, these are well-established, well-off people, and you really should listen to a lot of them, especially the medical doctors. They give a lot of great advice, but my whole thing is that I'm at the halfway point. My family's not starving anymore. We're not a paycheck away from eviction or homelessness, maybe 4 or 5 paychecks away, maybe 3 on a bad month. But with that being said, I want you to know I've worked my way off from where a lot of people are. And I'm giving you my honest advice and opinions based on reality, based upon my experiences in the gutter and in the middle, and based upon my education. So for every negative possibility over the next few months, I believe there's also positive possibilities that could be found or created. And it really doesn't always have to be bad. It really doesn't. And at the end of the day, you just have to make it not bad. You have to take control of it, and you have to make it happen. You can't just not pilot your life. You'll literally just hit an iceberg and sink, Titanic style. Floating to the bottom. Sinking to the bottom. You can't float to the bottom. That's ridiculous. But there's no room on that floating door, and Rose ain't letting you on. You're done. So knowing now about this period of possible opportunity, I almost see it like sneaking inside of a kingdom, like your own Trojan horse. I visualize, I imagine, I fantasize about these goals that I have obsessively. And when we return, let's talk about some of the possibilities to look into for low to no budget. I mean, I'm not promising miracles, and I'm not telling secrets. What I'm telling you now, before you listen to the next segment, that everything will fall back basically on the basics, hard work and discipline, with no immediate return on investment. And that's the real truth. Right now, it's branding time. It's not selling time, it's branding time. I'm James Lane, and this is the American Reveille Podcast. We'll be right back.
We don't have to stay all night to be satisfied. There's a whole lot more to this than meets the eye. You just have to lead me on to get you.
The American Reveille Podcast with James Lane would like to take a moment to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to tune into the show. It's because of great fans like you that we strive to deliver the best quality content one can create as fast as one can fling the pen. The American Reveille Podcast with James Lane would also like to remind you that the American Reveille Podcast with James Lane is, in fact, sponsored by James Lane. James Lane also writes, directs, records, edits, and produces this podcast. On top of that, James Lane also handles the daunting task of running the social media management, and did I mention he also manages the webpage, email lists, creates and designs the artwork, and everything else you could think of. With that being said, a good little boy never misses his opportunity to sell himself, and though James would never ask you for your money, he would like to let you know that if you absolutely love this podcast, the writing, the art, its production, anything, please do us the personal favor of liking, sharing, tweeting, texting, and talking about this podcast. James Lane is a father, a husband, a U.S. Navy veteran, and is personally committed to the success of the American Reveille Podcast. For booking inquiries, potential sponsors, volunteers, internship inquiries, feedbacks, comments, or suggestions, please email James Lane directly at podcast@AmericanReveille.com, or please visit our website at www.AmericanReveille.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
All right. Hey, guys, it's James Lane here, and this is the American Reveille Podcast. We're talking about possible possibilities, as I said in the last segment. For 200, please, Alex. Anyway, we left off talking about the necessity to be in control of the only thing we actually have control over, which is ourselves, our decisions, basically our chess moves. And make no mistake, you have to make moves. You can't just stay in one place and not make any moves and expect some sort of magical eagle to come fly down and scoop you up to the promised land. The Lord of the Rings is not real. And even in the Lord of the Rings, when they could have taken the frickin' ring on the eagle to the volcano, they still had to take the hard way. So take that for what it is. I'm going to make this clear. Unless you have friends or family with buckets of money and big hearts, nobody's coming. Just like I said in another episode, there's no eagle, there's no unicorn, nothing's magical, and nothing's coming to save you. Accept it for yourself, and create this magic out of thin air. So you've heard me just say that you can't stay still. You can't not make moves. You can't not play chess. You can't just sit there and hope this all blows over. I mean, you can, and it may, but people, if you do just sit there, if you do just hang your head and hope for the best, you're missing out on probably the only opportunity like this in our lifetimes. If you're non-essential, you may have a lot of things to worry about right now, but at the same time, you may be in a situation where what do you have to lose? And don't tell me that I have no idea what that's like. I know what practically homeless is like, and I know what homeless is like. I know what it feels like to be scared, to worry, to make myself sick, wondering if I'll have a roof over my head for myself or my family the next day. So when you comment about this, remember that before you call me insensitive, I've been there, and you need to ask yourself if you've been there. And if you have, we can then have a conversation about it. So that's why I can give you this advice, because I've been there, and there's a lot of people who have also been there, and maybe we can help you avoid it. This stuff takes creativity, like we talked about before, and I won't lie, there's many factors. So if you're non-essential and you've got the 4 months of extra unemployment possibly coming in and the stimulus checks, you have this kind of possible 1 to 4 month area of time where you may be able to pull off some sort of miracle and significantly improve your life or start something special. Possibly. Can you write? Can you sing? Can you cook? Can you talk? Do you have a skill? Do you have knowledge that can help people right now? Are you sitting home a master of your profession, or even a master of nothing with a talent or a story to tell? We all have the internet. We all have social media. Everyone's home watching. Why not begin documenting your talent or skill? You could use your cell phone. Your fucking cell phone is more powerful than the cameras that shot television 5 years ago. And just record yourself doing something or explaining something even helpful. It doesn't have to be funny. Here's one. Are you, I don't know, an electrician? Maybe in the middle of your career, a little shaky about electricity, don't want to do things on big stuff, but comfortable doing home stuff. Well, sitting at home worried? Well, you've got all kinds of people right now doing the same thing. And they're all sitting around, maybe even some sitting on the toilet, watching their cell phone, looking at YouTube. Maybe you should make some videos of yourself doing some minor electrical repairs in 3 to 5 minute video clips. Teach people basics. Your kids can film you. Your kids can upload this for you. You can do this with very, very basic knowledge and skills. Have them do it. Make videos like this 5 to 10 times a day and post them on YouTube and TikTok and talk about it. Try to help people for free. Yes, for free. That's what I mean about branding, what I was saying in the end of the last segment. A single mother can't work, stuck at home with both of her kids because school's canceled. But it isn't canceled, is it? No. All of a sudden, kids are expected, possibly, some of them at least in some districts, to finish their school year online, at least in a lot of places. What I really wonder about it is the kids without a computer. I remember growing up poor and not even having a pencil sometimes. I was that asshole kid that borrowed a pencil every day. You remember that? Everyone hated that kid, and that was me. You're going to borrow a pencil? Hey, can I borrow your pencil? Fucking, it was ridiculous. So I know there are kids without computers. So how do they get to learn if they're in a district that doesn't allow that? Or, I mean, not doesn't allow that, but doesn't provide a computer for kids that maybe don't have that type of family income. So that's a conversation anyway for another episode. So back to a single mother. The single mother, she happens to be techie. Does this sound like you? Could be a single dad too. Those do exist. This could happen. So let's say a single parent techie helps their kids with their online schoolwork and easily navigates the system. You know the Christmas carol, "Do you see what I see?" Well, do you? Why can't you make videos about helping other parents learn how to use the school's online platform? That would be a huge success, and you would do it for free. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I know you want to make money, and I know a lot of people are counting on it to survive, but you have to look at ethics and longevity. And none of these are get-rich-quick podcasts or schemes, and there's no way to even get rich quick. It just doesn't work like that. That's hitting the lotto, and you lose it as fast as you make it. This is a podcast about this great awakening, again, that many Americans are experiencing right now. This sense of ownership, this personal responsibility sweeping the nation. Success that's lasting and real, not fast and cheap and temporary. If it's going to last, the path has to be sincere. Here's the science behind that if you want me to cut straight to the cheese. So here it is. If you genuinely have something to offer, if you truly bring value to people that really need it, if you're not BSing people, you're helping them, you're documenting it, participating, you're growing a community around what you're doing, then the money will organically and eventually come. You have to focus right now on building something special and unique based on your talents and skills. An attempt at independence, if you want to think about it that way. So I need to reiterate something. Many people are going to try to do something special, and many people are going to fail. We have to break this PC wall down in 2020. I'm not going to bullshit you. Not everybody gets a prize. Even the good people, the hardworking people that have a plan and bust their ass, they don't always win. They don't always get a prize. There's a small window right now to try and figure something out that we didn't need before. Some good thing that we could do for others that may not have been relevant, but now will be. And these good deeds, this service, this will come back to you financially. Trust me. So one more small area of opportunity that there seems to be maybe a way to make a little bit of money in if you're running short. With local trading down and Craigslist trading down, it seems shipping maybe up, like eBay, for example. And people seem to be doing a lot of selling still on eBay. So hint, hint, if you need some quick money, maybe sell some belongings. Though eBay, like any service that ships, it raises a few questions right now, like what are we doing to sterilize the shipping process to ensure the virus is, not spread around that much? Is there a cheaper way? Is there a system that could be created to make it more efficient? Is there a chemical process you know of that maybe they don't know of that could make cardboard prevent couch surfing viruses? I mean, in all of this kind of doom and gloom, there's a way for some people that may have always been capable, but may have never had a situation like this arise that awakens something inside them. There's a way for these people to, and you may be one of them, to really achieve something great. There may be a way to find an opportunity in any of the things I just mentioned and a bazillion of other things. So look, I can smell the opportunities out there. I never promised it would be easy, but I did promise that I'd make you aware of it. So with that being said, the American Reveille Podcast will be right back.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore.
The American Reveille Podcast with James Lane would like to take a moment to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to tune into the show. It's because of great fans like you that we strive to deliver the best quality content one can create as fast as one can fling the pen. The American Reveille Podcast with James Lane would also like to remind you that the American Reveille Podcast with James Lane is, in fact, sponsored by James Lane. James Lane also writes, directs, records, edits, and produces this podcast. On top of that, James Lane also handles the daunting task of running the social media management, and did I mention, he also manages the webpage, email lists, creates and designs the artwork, and everything else you could think of. With that being said, a good little boy never misses his opportunity to sell himself, and though James would never ask you for your money, he would like to let you know that if you absolutely love this podcast, the writing, the art, its production, anything, please do us the personal favor of liking, sharing, tweeting, texting, and talking about this podcast. James Lane is a father, a husband, a U.S. Navy veteran, and is personally committed to the success of the American Reveille Podcast. For booking inquiries, potential sponsors, volunteers, internship inquiries, feedbacks, comments, or suggestions, please email James Lane directly at podcast@AmericanReveille.com, or please visit our website at www.AmericanReveille.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am James Lane. This is the American Reveille Podcast, and we are in the third and final segment of the show. So before we went to break, we talked about the opportunities in the middle of this sort of limbo period we're in that a lot of us seem to maybe be aware of, and a lot of us maybe seem to not be. And I'm sure that the segment will maybe piss a lot of people off, but it's the only truth I personally know. It's real, it's painful, but again, it's the real stuff. So, guys, I have two more things I'm going to stress while we're on the topic of Americans in the meantime, and that's the importance of mindset and the necessity of patience. So, your mindset, your attitude, your outlook, your headspace, whatever you want to look at it, however you want to look at it, and in whatever way you want to look at it, and however you want to call it, your mindset is going to dictate your entire chemical process. Let me say that again. Your mindset is going to dictate your chemical process. So all of the emotions behind your actions will come from that mindset. I know how ridiculously hard it is to change your mindset, and that's why in previous episodes I described what we're going through now as kind of being compared to a significant traumatic life-changing event for many people, which sometimes it takes to wake people up. So this event will be many people's American Reveille, like I've said dozens of times before by this point. So with that being said, I believe that people are now more than ever open to changing their mindset to something positive with the constant bombardment of negative media and negative talk. People just need a nudge from the right person or thing to flip them to a positive mindset. And with that positive mindset, everything that seemed monumental, the heavy stones that you have to carry, those heavy burdens that you're unfairly stuck with, all of these things that looked like punishments, that felt like punishments, they end up slowly becoming opportunities as you knock them out little by little. It isn't some new mysterious way of thinking or some mystical dark art. A positive mindset, or at least a hardened mindset, it's really going to keep your brain dropping the right chemicals to get the shit done. It's good positive stuff. So look, a positive mindset doesn't pay the bills. I get it. There's no perfect answer. And I do know this though. Panic and worry, as opposed to trying to solve the problem, is not the answer to your worries or my worries or anybody's worries. Not at all. So this is where patience comes into play. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nothing this life worth having comes easy, and nothing hard is quick. And even if it's quick, well, there's some hard stuff that's quick, but we won't get into that, ladies. So even if it's quick, nothing hard feels quick. So don't pick it apart too much. If we're going to get through this stuff and make it out on the other end better, then we must have patience. So there, I said it. The dreaded word, the killer of instant gratification, the butcher of bungling. Patience will set you free. So patience requires you learn to control your emotions. Patience gives you the ability to remain the same emotionally while the world around you burns. So this patience will allow you to make logical decisions while everyone else is acting illogical, or in the face of yourself wanting to become irrational even. We're being faced with a long-term situation that requires patience and understanding, which requires you, if you don't have it, to cultivate, learn, or acquire patience and understanding. I think patience can be a hard thing for a lot of people here in the States sometimes. I think we get used to having everything exactly when, where, and how we want it, though not everybody, of course, but a lot of us don't get to see what it's like in the rest of the world. I think this is a big wake-up call for a lot of people who maybe before didn't realize that other ways of life exist. And, this reminds me, when I lived in the Philippines, I saw all of that beautiful postcard stuff, but I also saw suffering and poverty and sickness, the typical buffet that the developing world usually has to offer, the same buffet we tend not to talk about existing here in the States, the same buffet that many people never get to see with their own eyes, their whole lives. I think what's happened has really opened a lot of eyes, and I believe it's humbling to a lot of people. I believe that patience is a crucial skill to practice right now, as people can be stressed out and on edge, and the best practice should really be to be kind to your fellow neighbor. Humility, though, humility is invaluable, and I think humility definitely needs to be touched upon, as there's a lot of value in developing positive character trait. So I really, really hope that you guys got something out of this episode. I write these, and I specifically wrote this one with the intention of sharing my experiences and helping you guys and really building a friendship between us. So I think there's a ton of potential in all of us. And as I said in the first episode, there's nowhere to go but up. So hang tight, folks. The tides are coming for all us sea turtles. Anyway, sea turtles, in the next episode, we're going to talk about what I like to call the 4 P's of humility, an important factor, I believe, to successful people. And it's a trait among many successful people and established leaders. So patience is a core component of the development of humility, in my opinion. And I don't want this to be confused with the 7 P's. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. That's something else and someone else's, and we've talked about it before. But these 4 P's, persistent patience proliferates perseverance. Let me say that again. Persistent patience proliferates perseverance. And for all my military friends out there, I know you love that roll the tongue 4 P's right there. What does this mean? Persistent patience proliferates perseverance. Persistent patience proliferates perseverance. It means that the more patient we are, the more we generate the ability to persevere through difficult situations. This develops humility, guys. The more we either by choice or by luck, good or bad, depending on our mindsets, the more we find ourselves having to practice patience, the easier life gets. And the more we appreciate it in the long run. This humility we can develop. It's a powerful tool, which we will talk about in so much more detail in the next show. So guys, thank you so much for listening. And please remember to tell other people about this show. Please take the time to share us, like us, comment about us, text, tweet. Let us know whatever we can do to make the show better. And email me directly if you want with any questions or comments at jameslane@AmericanReveille.com and visit the website at www.AmericanReveille.com. I answer every email. So guys, until next time, this is James Lane. Clock it the fuck out. Stay firm, my friends.